Hey everybody, before I show you the repair video, how we repaired Tom Bailey's head, I do have to make a little bit of a correction. Realize that in drag and drive competitions, sometimes, and in particular this very last time, if you don't drive it all the way back to the pits, you cannot tow the vehicle, you're disqualified. So, sometimes Tom is justified in what he does, so you don't have to keep sending Tom comments saying he shouldn't drive this stuff back. Sometimes, like this last time, he had to drive it back. So, all right, now let's get to the build or get to the repair video of the cylinder head. I think you like it. Hey, so I had some people asking, the subscribers asking, hey, show us how you fix this head. So I'm going to show you how we're going to fix Bailey's head. And so first thing we got to do is we've got it all apart. And so you're just going to see in a time lapse of, I peel the wire out of it, and then going to be having to get it clean. You cannot weld anything that's dirty. So grind it, clean it, weld it. You'll be seeing me peen it. And then I'm trying to save these two seats, although I can replace them if I want to. But we're going to be just trying to save those seats if possible. So anyways, enjoy the process here, and I'll show you how you do this. Now, if you're wondering what's going on here, what I'm doing is in order to get the hoops out, I don't want to cut or grind or try picking at the hoop to get underneath it, because this is a solid one-piece deal. And so in order to get it out, you actually weld a wire to it, just like that. And then I pull this thing out. Pull it up. And then can pull it out. And that thing's out. So that's what's going on right there. Now I'm going to need to clean up and get this thing prepped for weld. And I'm just thinking and processing. This little area right here is also bad, probably because it got a bunch of heat and blew a bunch of stuff over here, and it made the cylinder hot too. So I'm gonna have to tune this whole area up just a little bit. So just some hand grinding here. Get this done. Now, if you want to know why we're fixing stuff, basically, I could, in the grand scheme of life, yeah, we could just put a new head on everything. But unlike your tennis shoes, or I'm sorry, unlike your shoes or anything in society today, we just don't throw everything away and buy a brand new one. And yeah, we can. I guess I could throw this whole cylinder head in the scrap bin and then just put a brand new one on it and charge Bailey for a brand new one. But why? Unfortunately, that's the way society is now. Nobody wants to fix anything. Nobody wants to. They just think everything should just be replaced, and it's just no big deal. You drop your phone, you go get a new one. Any single thing, that's just kind of the way society is. So there's a little bit of a rant for you, one of Steve's rants. But fix it because we can, and it's going to be perfectly good. Brand new? No. Perfectly good? Yes. So, anyways, a little rant. Alrighty, so you can see there where I have, let's take the camera off here. So you kind of see how the process goes. Adding material, beating, this one is easy, beating material down, making sure I have ample material there that I'm going to machine through, and then be able to, put my hoops in. Hoops are most important, and then it's flat. I'll come in and blend all this stuff in, that ain't nothing. Here, making sure that whole area is super strong, and you basically, at least the way I think about it is, when I'm beating it with a hammer, I start, put a layer down, beat it in, put another layer down, beat it in, put another layer down, beat it in, and then keep on going over, and you're basically compacting material. I mean, you're forging it in there, so to speak. At least that's the way I think of it. And then I just have to make sure that my starts and stops don't end up causing any larger gaps at the hoops. I think it's going to be okay on my seats, because I didn't get very much heat in there, and we'll see. I mean, I'll be able to tell. See, they're not distorted out there. Let's see here. Wipe this one up. Hit this exhaust port a little bit here, and yeah, I mean, it hasn't moved or done anything with the seat, but I'll be able to tell that later. And if I have to, I'll put new seats in it. It's not a big deal. But I think we're pretty good here. So next thing to do is I'll put it up into the mill, and we mill this flat, make sure there's no porosity in there, make sure that there's no areas that aren't going to be flat or need to be added to weld. And then we'll cut the hoops. Then I will valve job everything. Then I'll come in and grind all this. So stay tuned. Now, just got done resurfacing it. So what we've done now is I've already set my WCS up on my dowel pin. I didn't bother showing you that. But this is our cutter, very small. It's 0.50 thousandths cutter, and we come in here and we cut our hoop grooves. This is just a test cut, just to make sure that everything's right. We're gonna go in and retouch up the bottom, because we took 5 thousandths off of the cylinder head to make sure everything was flat and nice. Everything looks great, no problem. The test pass looks fine. Everything looks good. So now this thing is going to come in here and it's going to cut these hoops again, and then I'll show you how we put these hoops in. Well, actually, before I do that, we'll do the valve job and I'll do everything else, but we'll have this all cut and then move on to the next step. Alright, so we're done cutting, but I'm going to check out, and I'm just verifying that my grooves are correct. You see that little cutter going in there? Let me get this all wiped down and out of the way here. And I'll try and see the very bottom of the groove here. Let me grab a flashlight. Alright, so let me wipe this down one more time. Polishing cloth, it does a lot better job. And then look down in here. Yeah, it's cutting in the bottom of the groove real nice. Okay, everything looks real good. show you all this up close and personal. And you can see, you really can't even see it discolor, or sorry, right here. Really can't see. Oh, there's a little low spot right there. Very, very minimal. I'm not gonna fix that, that's fine. And then just a little bit of a low spot right there. Outside of these little low spots, you really can't even hardly see a discoloration in the material. You can see a little discoloration there, but it's just the angle, the light shining in there. It looks real good. So super happy with that. Now I'm going to put this head up in the head shop and head machine and touch off on all my valve job here and see how much stuff is moved, if any. So I'm really hoping that it's not moved and screwed this all up, that seat there and this intake seat. They still look tight and look everything good, and they never get, because it's not a casting, because this is all solid and it's in solid and there's no water underneath. There is no water within 3 inches, at least 3 inches of the port, so everything's solid. So it really does a fantastic job of not moving around. That is one of the primary benefits of billet, is it just does not move around like that. So I'm going to take this out. You've seen how this thing cuts. Resurfaced it, how nice the weld ended up being right there. Weld here, no weld there. Flat, minimal amount of material take off, super smooth, nice, and the grooves are all recut. These are the hoops right here. So this is the hoop. You can see here, I have a whole series on video. Oh crap! And that thing is just like perfect size. So it actually just fell in the groove, and then trying to get it out is kind of a trick. There you go. Because it is like right perfect. Solid one piece. That is 85 thousandths tall and sticks up 20 thousandths above deck surface, because we cut that groove 65 deep. Anyways, I have a whole thing on my Steve Tech called Sealing in the Boost. That's Sealing in the Boost. And I'll see if I can get, I'll write that up here, and there'll be a link down below in the description. Or I'll try to put it in the description. If not, you just got to go to YouTube and hunt it up. It's easy. It's on my playlist. So let's take this out of the machine and move over to the next spot. Alrighty, so now I have the cylinder head up in the cylinder head machine. This is our Rattler SG9 cylinder head valve job guide machine. So anyways, cut all the angles at one time with these little special cutters right here. And so what I've done here is I've already just touched off on the seat, just trying to reduplicate the same seat and cut as minimal amount off of the seat as possible, just to re-valve job this. And this one actually cleaned up real well. And this was the problem child I was worried about, was this seat. If the weld or anything has really changed or moved anything, it makes the seat way out of round. Seat was not out of round. It cleaned up really nice. So what I'm going to do now is just put some layout dye on this, and then just come in here and just spin the valve a little bit with a very, very fine, it's a 600 grit lapping compound, but it's basically the same thing as putting, I don't know, next to nothing on it. It doesn't leave any impregnation. It doesn't do any bull crap. I've only done this for 25 years and never had a problem with it, ever. So anyways, we're just going to lap that in real quick, make sure that everything looks good on the valve, and I'll show you how that goes, and then we'll go ahead and cut the rest of the intake valves, throw the other head in here, cut the intake valve pockets, because I want everything to be the same. So we want the valve pocket depths to be the same from the deck surface on all of them. And this does that all with the computer. So this is the vertical position of the tool right now, so it always has the same position in the seat, so making everything all the same. Then we'll then change everything over to do the exhausts because it's on a different cant, obviously from different directions. Had somebody comment, oh, your valves need to be, didn't they don't some people made a comment about valves need to go in away from the combustion chamber bore and to make this thicker up here and some other stuff, and they don't even understand that this is a canted valve motor. So it's 4-degree cant this way on the intake and a 4-degree cant this way on the exhaust, because it does go away from it, and there's certain math that you just can't get away from, and you don't want to have a smaller combustion chamber than what the bore is. Otherwise, it sets up all these detonation and pre-ignition points. Makes it problematic. So, anyways, that's a little bit of stuff left over. I'll just show you how this thing gets valve job and how we verify the seat on it, and I'll show you all that. Alright, now you just saw that I cut that seat, came in, recut it again, and because it was just a tick low, so I've taken about a grand total of about 6 thousandths off of this seat. You can see there how that is the valve seat, where it's hitting right there. So the rest of the angles are all in there. Obviously the valve is only going to touch where the actual seat is. So you can see how nicely that all cut around. Everything looks really good. Super happy with that. And it is the right size on the valve, in the right area on the valve right there. So very happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and just cut the rest of it. Alright, so now this is exactly what I was looking for. You can see here, the seat is nice and making contact equal width all the way around. Of course, this one is, because we already determined that. This one has a nice nice line all the way around, so it looks good. But this one has a little spot right there that it isn't touching anything. And so it's going to take just a couple more thousandths to actually just clean that out. But no big deal. But this is why we do this, where we can see exactly where it's making contact and that it's making contact all the way around. Interesting to note, that probably would still pull vacuum and would seal up as it ran. It just kind of beat it in, but we're just going to make that perfect. So you can see right there, I'm just letting that thing spark out. It's just cleaning up just a tick. Spark out means you just let it set at the exact same height and it just keeps cutting until it cuts no more. Alright, now we'll move this over out of the way. Hit this with some die chem and layout die. Make sure that it is making full contact all the way around. Then we'll be done with this intake on this, or the intakes on this head. This is a old valve that I use that happens to be out of my engine. I got a lot of old stuff like that. Very easy to just wipe this compound all the way, and when we run through cleaner, it's clean. There's no residue left over. All right, and you can see that that is no longer has that little spot right there. Let's turn this light off. There you go. You can see that just a little bit better. Just the glare. Looks good. Let's get the other head in here and then we'll cut the exhaust. Now, one other thing that we can do that I often do, can't do on this particular application, is I can vacuum check them. I do have the vacuum checker. So you put the vacuum checker right here and put the valve in and it sucks. Problem is on the exhaust, it just comes over and has a slight opening into the head stud right there, which is perfectly normal, no big deal. And I mean, just barely, like you can just barely see it. I might not be able to see it. Let's see here. Yeah, right there. See it right there? How the just has a, it's super thin, and actually after they run for a while they'll actually crack right there and there and there and there. But that's perfectly normal. Doesn't do any harm, doesn't do any damage. The stud does not care, the port does not care, doesn't leak anything. It's only been running and going 570s and running for a few years, or since 2019. So no big deal at all. Anyways, valve job looks great. It does come over here and just hit, whoops. You can see right up there, it hits that corner. Yeah, right there. Where am I at? Oh, there we go. Right there. You can see it just comes in and clips that weld, which is all right. And then, so now we're gonna go over and I am going to start blending in these chambers. So this is my little dust collecting cabinet. Has a little vacuum. That's your vacuum table, basically. You can see right there. Has decent light and everything. So I'm gonna get in here and I'm going to start blending in all this weld on the chamber and then polish up chambers and make sure everything all looks good. I will use the old, this is just an old valve here. I use the old valve so I don't touch the seat, because it really sucks when you go over and you grind over the seat and then you have to go recut it and then it's a different height and just stupid. So always put an old valve in there to grind around the seat so you don't ever hit anything. All right, and here you have the finished repaired cylinder head for Tom Bailey in the 2.0. Another thing interesting to note, this is the original cylinder head from the original first prototype SMX. So I'm happy everything's all hanging in there great and working well. So real pleased with everything here. But I've showed you the welding, the repair there, the valve job, the porting, the blending, everything that goes along with it. I know people ask, this is about a $1,500 repair, but this is a $6,000 cylinder head. So, and you can see, this thing is sweet. Everything's right. It's nice, ready to rock and roll. So obviously, repair it. Also, I got 8 hours into it, all things said and done. Well, actually closer to 10 right now. 10 hours into this whole deal. And the hand blending was actually about the shortest amount of time. So it was actually quicker to hand blend this, grind this all out, than it was to throw it in the CNC machine and have it do it. And because you have to do the valve job, have to do the hoops, have to do the welding and everything outside the machine, so no point doing that. Also, please note, I will repair and do things for my customers on my customer engines that we build, but I just rarely, in fact, I just don't do cylinder head repair work. So I just send that stuff out. I recommend that you find, there's a couple companies out there that do real good work on cylinder head repairs. I needed to fix this quick because I needed it to be done right now, and I can do it. And you can do a lot of stuff, but you know, I just needed to get it done right now. So that's why we did this. And in fact, we're going to start working on the assembly of this engine, and this thing's ready to go. So Anyways, I am Steve Morris, Steve Morris Engines. Have a great day.